I never had a plan B, so I've always put on my mind I'll have to be a footballer. In Brazil, it's quite a bit different. The pressure on football and all of this, the respect. Everybody said to me, hey, wait until your first game at City Ground. Yes.
Well, today's guest has made quite the impact since joining the club. He's a person who has many talents on and off the pitch. He's travelled almost 6,000 miles to be here at the club. He's a 2 times winner of the Copa Libertadores and a 2 times champion of the Brazilian Premier Division. He's the club champion of the Rubik's Cube, and he also has a very successful YouTube channel. He now wears, of course, Garibaldi red. Please welcome the official Nottingham Forest podcast on and off the pitch, Gustavo Scarpa.
Thank you so much for this introduction. It's a pleasure to be here.
You rolled your eyes, though, at the Rubik's Cube club champion. That's exactly what you brought to the club. I mean,
I try to teach all the guys to solve the Rubik's Cube. Okay, I'm the champion in the club, but we didn't make a competition yet, so I don't know if I'm able to say this.
But I mean, I touched even on your introduction there. You've achieved so much in your 29 years already, you know, a number of titles over in Brazil. Now you're here in Nottingham. We're so excited to have not 1 but 4 Brazilians join our party out there on the pitch. And I think this sit down for me and all the fans, we just want to get to know a bit more about you. There's been a lot in the paper and in the club media about the Rubik's Cube and all your hobbies and your reading, but we want to know where that has come from. So if you're ready, we'll sit down and get to know this man.
I'm ready. I think I'm ready.
A little bit more. I mean, Gustavo, I guess for me, I want to know a bit more about life in Brazil. I mean, obviously you grew up near Sao Paulo, very different from the city centre of Nottingham and on the River Trent here. What was life like for you growing up?
It's a very good life with my friends and family. I'm from a small city near São Paulo, called Hortolândia.
Hortolândia?
Yeah, you could say Hortoland, and it's a small city, a little bit smaller than Nottingham, and I've always wanted to be a footballer. Always try to be a professional player, and all of these hobbies, they came when I was like 25 years old. So it's a new life for me also.
What was kind of family life like for you? Who got you into football? What did your family dynamic look like over in Brazil?
My father used to encourage me to be a footballer, but he always said to me, you can choose whatever you want. If one day you say to me, I don't want to play anymore, okay, you decide. So it was a very good decision from him, not put pressure on me to be a footballer. But my father and my mother, they, got divorced.
Yeah,
when I was 9 years old. And my mother decided to go to another life. And me and my sister, she's 3 years older than me, we're staying with our daddy. And yeah.
Was it always the goal to be now Premier League player? Or kind of did you just hope one day you'd make it?
Yeah, I mean, I never had a plan B. So I've always put on my mind I'll have to be a footballer because I love this. And since I was a little kid, I've always watched Premier League games, and it was my dream. I had 3 biggest dreams in football. Play with Ronaldinho Gaúcho.
Tick.
Yeah.
You played with him.
Yeah. Play Premier League and play the World Cup. So it's missing one.
It's missing one. I mean, the depth in Brazil as well is so great. And for you to achieve what you did do over there, you know, and now come here, it's like you've had almost 2 footballing careers. Do you feel like you've achieved 1 footballing career and ticked that off and now you're starting a new chapter?
Yeah, maybe. I think I could say that. and it's so hard for a player in Brazil with 28 years old to come straight to Premier League. It's so hard, and I'm so happy with this new challenge. And yeah, it's quite a bit different here, so I think I can risk all that I've been through, and now it's a new challenge that I'm loving.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that, because that was something I was interested in. You know, not many players start a new career at the age of 28, 29 that you've done. Did you think somewhere in your head it was never going to happen? Was it getting a bit too late for you to think that the Premier League was a possibility?
Yeah, this is the exactly thing that I was thinking the last 2 years, because it was one of my biggest dreams to play the Premier League. And then the years are, how do I say it?
Just ticking by, so just
yeah,
going.
just going.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I cannot believe it. And then suddenly just came Nottingham Forest, and I was like, yeah, this is my chance. And Palmeiras, they wanted to offer me a new contract and all of this. And I've been really honest with all of them that there's nothing they can offer me, because this is my dream, and if I don't take this chance, I'm gonna be regretted for the rest of my life.
Before the Forest offer, years gone by, did you ever have a chance to play in Europe, somewhere else, or possibility of the Premier League? Did that ever become a possibility earlier on in your career and it just didn't come to fruition?
Yeah, not in Premier League, but in Portugal once, and I don't know, maybe Spain. Yeah, in Spain in 2020, but never.
It was that you didn't want to go, or it just never materialized?
Never materialized. I've always wanted to play in Europe, but Premier League is the most desired thing.
It's the best of the best, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I want to hear the story then about how the Forest moved. Where were you when you got the call saying this was going to be a possibility? Can you remember? Is this something that's still quite clear in your head?
Yeah, my agent, he said to me, there is a team, they are on championship, but they're on the playoffs. And while he was talking, I was already making my research. And the against Sheffield and the other games, I started to watch, and I was going to Palmeiras game and watching my cell phone to see against Huddersfield in the final. And when they won 1-0, I was like, okay, now it's near. And then 1 week or 2 weeks later, I signed it.
Yeah, I mean, you signed quite a long time before you made your move. We all kind of knew it was the worst kept secret ever that you were possibly coming to the club. It was kind of in the summer, and then you signed obviously December time.
Yeah.
What was that period like of waiting? Were you doing a lot of research about Nottingham? What was that like for you? Obviously, you have a wife. You had to obviously encourage her that she had to move from the hot weather to Nottingham city centre in the winter. Mm.
And she was already pregnant, so she don't speak English. She's pregnant. It's all new for her. But she knew that it was my biggest dream to be here. But the last 6 months before I came here, of course, I keep thinking, oh, I can't wait to go to England and all of this. But I had Libertadores, I have the Brazilian League, and I just went for it, did my best, and we went champion.
Yeah, I mean, you've been pretty successful.
We were
champions.
We were
yeah.
champions.
Obviously, you're the current champions of Brazil. That was the title you got in 2022. Obviously, last year. Your celebrations, I hear, were quite something. Can you tell us about what you did after becoming champion? And obviously, the Brazilian Player of the Year as well. You had an awesome year.
Yeah. One of my dreams also. After we been champion, I've always get I don't know how do you say here, but like Oreo, like cookies, you know? Yeah. And,
Oreo cookies.
in a bottle of condensed milk, and I like put Oreo in the mouth and drink the condensed milk, and this is my celebration.
And did I hear something about you running around the pitch and doing something crazy as well? I don't know. Did the celebrations extend further than Oreos and condensed milk?
Palmeiras, they make me a very good surprise, unforgettable surprise for me. They built skate, almost a small skate park on the field for me, and it was like there's some things that I never dream about it, but when it happens, it's like a dream coming true, you know?
Yeah.
So it was crazy.
I mean, you were, well, you still are such a superstar over there in Palmeiras, obviously. You know, you've got things like the Rubik's Cube. They made a Rubik's Cube for you to sell at the club shop. Obviously, you're 2 times Libertadores champion, 2-time champion of the league for them, the Brazilian Player of the Year. You know, I know the dream was always the Premier League, but was there not something that wanted to keep you there because of the accolades you've achieved and the status you held at that club?
Yeah, of course, because it was very hard to achieve everything I did. But I mean, I've always wanted to make a new challenge in all of these. I don't like to stay in the same place doing the same things. So when this opportunity came, and I was like, I have to go for it.
Tell us about the Copa Libertadores. I mean, that's quite the achievement. Yeah. I mean, and some memories that you have there. I was watching your absolute screamer from 30 yards in 2019, from like a set piece, wasn't it? Someone kind of just kicked you the ball, and you absolutely hit it in the back of the net. Like, I'm picturing that now from seeing it on YouTube. Just describe those moments that you had in that tournament.
Yeah, it was a very special moment because we were playing away, and it was against Gremio. They had a great team, and the player who was near to me, he was like, "Okay, cross," and I was, "No, bro, touch me and I'll shoot it." "No, it's too far," and I, "Bro, pass me the ball," and he was like, "Okay." Then I shoot it and don't remember nothing.
Well, the celebrations, again, if you want to go have a look, quarterfinals 2019, Gremio, to get to the semis, I believe.
Yeah.
The goal was special. The celebrations was something else. You do love your celebrations, don't you?
Yeah, I think I did something like this. It was so exciting that sometimes I don't know what to do.
And was it twice a pinch yourself moment that you became the Copa Libertadores champion? Did you ever expect to achieve 2 of those titles?
I've always wanted, but I didn't expect that after our first one, we're gonna do our second one straight the same year because of the COVID and all of this. It was a very special moment because in Brazil, it's quite a bit different. The pressure on football and all of this, the respect. So when we achieved the second Libertadores was crazy, and then we realized we are doing like great things for the club.
I mean, what is it like when you win over there? Obviously, when we went up over here, you know, City Hall is taken over, Nottingham City Centre, everyone comes out. What's the pictures like in where you are in Palmeiras? Describe the scenes there.
It's almost the same. We're going on a bus, and the fans, like a lot of fans in the street. You have like 1 mile away. You took like 2 hours and a half, something like this, just celebrating and eating Oreo with condensed milk and the guys drinking. It's very fun.
I mean, over in Brazil as well, can you walk down the street? Do people recognize you a lot?
Yeah, they recognize me a lot. But in the last few years, I changed my mind a little bit with all of because of the skateboarding. I start to just living a normal life in the good moments, in the bad moments. But yeah, sometimes I'm skating and someone's, "Hey, can I take a picture?" Blah, 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 blah. Okay. But it's normal. It's a good thing. It means like I'm doing my job very well.
Yeah, you're a fan's favourite for sure. I think even in the short time you've been here at Forest, the fans all love you. You're such a character. You're not the typical footballer, that's for sure. But let's talk then about Forest. Obviously, this is a dream move to come here in the Premier League. You're here now. You have been for a few months. Does Nottingham and Forest feel like home yet?
Yeah, everybody treat me very, very well since my first week here. And to be honest, I didn't expect too much about the club, about the city, about the fans. And now I'm enjoying a lot because I put my expectations like low there. But everybody, like all the kids, show me like lots of love, pictures, videos, even at the skate parks around here, and it's very good.
What did you expect it to be like? You said your expectations were possibly a little bit low.
Yeah, like small city, like no one in the street, the fans not so warmy or shouting at the game, but it's quite different than I expected.
What's surprised you most about the city, or what have you found that you've really enjoyed?
I think two things. I came on almost in Christmas, so the city center was crazy, like crowd. A lot of people walking all day long. Uh, but also a lot of skate parks, like the best one that I ever saw indoor. And I was like, I was not expecting for this. But the city is very beautiful, and yeah, the people here. I've always thought that English people would be like angry and all of this, but
Angry?
yeah, but they are smiling and saying good morning, and I didn't expect this.
Yeah, it's a great place, and wait till the summer comes. You'll love it then. Has your wife settled in okay? Obviously, she's having your first child.
Yeah.
So congratulations to the both of you. That's a very exciting time. How has she found being here with you?
Yeah, before she came here, I was like, be ready because it's very cold and all of this. But when she got here, she was like, we've been to New York once. And she was like, no, New York is worse than here. I'm okay. And then are loving the house we are living. And yeah, she's enjoying a lot.
Great. Well, it's great to hear that you've settled as a family as well. And I'm pretty excited that your baby is probably going to have Nottingham on their passport as their place of birth. Have you thought about that?
I mean, I've always make fun with my friends in Brazil. Like, I'm from a small city in Brazil. It's not funny here telling this for you, but for us in Brazil, it's very funny because I'm from a small city in Brazil and my son will be English, British. Yeah, it's very good. Very fun.
Birthplace, Nottingham.
Nottingham. My city is Hortolândia. So if someone is from Hortolândia, you add like Hortolandense, something like this.
Oh, I see, like a Londoner.
Yeah.
A Nottingham. What do we say? A Nottingham.
Nottinghamer.
You don't say a
something
Nottinghamer.
like this.
I don't know what we say. But yeah, a Londoner, I get what you mean. A Mancunian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. We'll figure that one out. Tell me about your first memory of coming into the club. What was it like? What did you feel like?
My first time here at the city ground, it was very good, but I have to do a photo session wearing this, and I was freezing. Freezing. I was smiling but very nervous, like, yeah, let's go. It's my first memory here.
And I guess wandering around here, did you get to meet Steve Cooper? What was your first conversation with him like?
He says something about rock and roll, because I said my father used to encourage me to listen a lot of music. And then someone said about the guy, the Sultans of Swing, Dire Straits vocalist. what's his name? I forgot. Mark Knopfler. He says, "Oh yeah, I look like Mark Knopfler." I was like, okay, but it was a very good talk.
And since then, how's your relationship with Steve evolved? Because he's quite the man manager, isn't he? You know, he puts a lot of time into his players and his team and everyone around the club. How would you describe him, and how's your relationship developed with Steve?
It's very professional because I don't like too much to being like friend of the coach and all of this. I try to respect their place, make them respect mine. A very professional relationship, and it's doing very good.
Is that because it's always been that way in your previous teams you've worked in? Is that always the kind of role that you've kept? You're the player and then the manager?
Yeah, I think it's about my personality. My father doesn't agree too much, but I've always been like this. And I'm in Premier League with this personality. Yeah.
How is Steve compared to the other bosses you've had in the past? Is he quite different in persona and his work ethic?
He yell more than the others. But he seems like my last coach about talking and showing what he wants to do. Yeah.
And in terms of being here, how different has it been to how you train and competitions in Brazil? Like, is the setup quite similar or is it quite different?
Here it's quite a bit different.
In
More
terms of
fight, and in Brazil, sometimes you get a yellow card, and here the ref not even call a foul. So it's hard to get used to it. But it's very good because you play more, you know. Sometimes in South America, mostly in Brazil, the game is so not boring, but the ref calls a foul of everything. Of course, we as a player we have a responsibility in all of this. I think it's our culture. Maybe we won't change nothing there, but yeah, here it's quite a bit hard.
Yeah, what else have you learned then from the times that you've played both home and away in terms of, I guess, the competition and the different play styles? You said obviously, well, the Premier League, as we know, is such a physical, strength-related game as well.
Yeah. I think home and away are the same for me. Fights, and more fights.
Yeah, I mean, we have to at the moment as well,
Yeah.
of course. You know, we want to retain our place in this division. Obviously, going forward, you've signed for a couple of years, so that's great as well. Tell me more about when you're training. What's the team like? Like, how have you fitted in, would you say?
Yeah, now with the Brazilians, but I told them that I don't want to hang out
I heard
only
that.
the Brazilians because I want to learn new culture. I want to increase my English. But everybody here, since I got here, treat me very, very good. I think my English helps me a lot. But yeah, there's a lot of good guys here, and they try to translate some expressions they are saying in the field that I don't understand, and then I translate to the guys. But it's a very good team, very good teammates.
I went into Steve's office a little while ago, and he had a cheat sheet of Portuguese lingo.
Yeah.
Is he getting better?
Yeah, I mean,
Go on, what can he say?
at least he's trying. Not only him, but all of the staff. But sometimes it's very funny because he wanna say fight, and he says bad
Stop.
things
Or something else.
bad words.
I also heard that you act very much as the translator for the other Brazilian players in Portuguese. Is that quite tough for you when you're also trying to understand Steve, translate it into Portuguese, and then say it to your teammates?
Yeah, because I came here to play football, not to be a translator. I'm kidding. Danilo knows I have no problem with this. Every time the guys need a translation, if they need my help, they call me, and no problem with that. Sometimes it's hard because I have to care about what I have to do and I'm trying to understand, and then I have to translate for Danilo. But he's doing a very good job. Danilo is doing English classes already, so he's trying also.
I mean, we've obviously got 4 Brazilians here as well now. You've got like a little family. Do you think that will influence more possibly to come in the future? Are there a couple of guys at Palmeiras that you'd love to see coming over to Forest?
Oh, there's a lot of Palmeiras.
You're going to have an influx of your friends coming over.
It's crazy to see the fans from Palmeiras on Instagram saying, "You're taking all of our players." But there's a lot of players in Palmeiras that I would love to see here.
Have any fans from Palmeiras now become Forest fans because of you? Or come over here to watch you at the City Ground?
I've saw a lot of, I think 4 or 5. It's a lot, right? Palmeiras fans against Fulham with Palmeiras flag and all of this. Against West Ham, there was a Palmeiras fan who brought me cookies and condensed milk from Brazil.
Did you eat them?
No.
Oh, I
Not
didn't
yet.
think you would.
If we stay in Premier League for the next season, I'll celebrate with this.
That's great, though. I mean, does that give you extra pressure that you think you are responsible for these fans coming over? Obviously, they may live in London or whatever, but that gives an extra pressure that fans have travelled to come and see you and are now fans of Forest.
Yeah, but it's the kind of good pressure because it's more love than. I mean, they don't want to, hey, you have to play better. No, they came just to see me, so it's very good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's amazing. Hopefully we'll have more of them as the time goes by. Tell me a little bit, I guess, about the Premier League, and in particular, we've spoken about how different it is, but in terms of the players from the opposing teams that you've seen and you've gone, wow, I didn't expect to play against these players and how good they are in real life.
Yeah, they are very strong. I mean, again, fight. There's a lot of great technique players here, and the game is faster than Brazil. So you see a lot of guys who give like 1 or 2 touches in the ball. Like against Man United, I've always seen those guys on TV, and when you play against them, you can see why they are where they are, you know? Why they are reaching the national teams and all of this, because there's a lot of awesome players here in Premier League, and it's a pleasure to play against them.
You followed Man United growing up a little bit, I believe. Was it like a pretty kind of stop and have a think about the situation moment when you played them?
When I got on Old Trafford, it was a very great experience. And Danilo, he got very excited also. We were there on the pitch to recognize the pitch and all of this. And once you reach all of these great games, you start to think like everything I've been through, and it's just some special moments.
Yeah, what's it like, I guess, within the team before these big games as well? What's the atmosphere like? Kind of, what are the team like? Do some of the players give you some team talks? Obviously, they've played a lot of matches at this level or at championship level, so understand what's expected. You know, has anyone kind of taken on that role to help you before matches?
All the guys here are used, I mean, not all, but they are used to play great games with against great clubs, and they all know that everything is possible. So we try to talk to each other to do our best and try to win, to beat all of these great teams, because we're trying to make history also.
Yeah, I mean, what is one other thing that has surprised you possibly about being a Premier League player that you didn't expect? Is there anything that you were shocked at or you didn't quite expect when you came here?
The fights. I'm kidding. But
Steve definitely needs to learn that word because you like that one.
Let me see. I think the atmosphere is different. You know, in Brazil, I think the fans they singing more. They have like instruments and all of this. But here is different, the atmosphere, and I don't know why. Like I get very nervous every time before the game because it's great to see the stadium like full of people.
Playing here is pretty special, isn't it? The
Yeah.
fans are pretty loud compared to other places you come, especially when you're playing at home. We get behind you, right?
Exactly. And everybody said to me, hey, wait until your first game at City Ground. And then I can realize playing some games away, and it's nothing compared to play here.
Tell us what it was like.
Crowd, loud, not crowd, loud, right? Loud, yeah. And the songs, and you can see like everybody's, the little kids and the old guys are screaming, and it's very fun to watch.
And what's the atmosphere down at the training ground like? Do you guys have fun as well as working really hard? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a very good, like I said, my teammates, they're just very good guys. Of course, we have some bad days with arguing and all of this, but we do hard work with fun. Now with for Brazilians, we are smiling more because Danilo, like, it's very funny, and he tries to understand English, and the guy says something to him and he don't understand, and he answer in Portuguese like I don't understand, but he's tried to answer, and so it's very fun.
Obviously, you said you've achieved 2 of the goals that you've set out to doing so far. Um, World Cup still eludes you. Do you think now that you're here in the Premier League, this may become more of a possibility? You're kind of becoming maybe a global superstar now, obviously achieved everything in Brazil. If you go on to have the success that I'm sure you want to have here, do you think a World Cup is still likely for you, maybe in 3 years' time now in America?
Yeah, for sure. And the funny thing, it's like for my 3 main goals, Ronaldinho, Premier League, and World Cup, I've always thought like, it's too late. Like Ronaldinho was almost getting retired, and then suddenly he came to Fluminense, and I was like, oh, I cannot believe. Premier League the same. I was 28 years old, and I was like, oh, it's too late for playing the Premier League, and then suddenly Premier League. So I think the same for the World Cup. I try to achieve this main goal.
Are you someone who has the mindset of always being super positive and believing anything's possible?
Yeah, not like coaching and all of this, but with good thoughts really. And I do have my faith in God, not to achieve my goals, of course, but yeah, I try to stay positive. I try to find a positive thing on a negative thing, you know.
And you're a player that strikes me as being like very fit and healthy. Like, is that something important to you as well? Do you kind of like try and live a very healthy lifestyle to continue your playing career for as long as possible?
Yeah, I try. I'm trying to get better. I know that Oreo and condensed milk is not so fit.
That's a celebration treat. It's fine. We'll forget that.
Celebration, exactly. But for sure, stay fit is hard, but I think it's very important. Even not even, but now more than in Brazil, because here it's harder to play. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we were saying, it's more physical. So
Yeah.
there possibly going to be a few more kind of roadblocks in the way
Yeah.
going forward. Tell me a little bit about your faith. You just mentioned that there, you know, you obviously kind of trust in your faith to take you further in your career. Has that always been a part of your life?
I started to go into the church with 15 years old, and then with 17, I like understand. I became a Christian. It's been like 12 years old. 12 years old. 12 years. And yeah, I do have my faith. Like I said, it's not a faith based on achieve my goals and all of this. It's about like living a normal life, trying to help everybody that I can, making good things.
That's not unusual, but a little bit later to go at 15. Was that a choice of yourself, or did someone encourage you to go and find a faith?
I was trying to talk with a girl, my friend, and then she was at the church, and I was like, okay. She called me to go to the church, and okay. But when I got there, I saw a friend that I studied 1 year earlier, and but then suddenly I went there for the wrong reason, but it's crazy how God do the things, and I totally forgot about her and started to live like a Christian.
And did I read that you've found a Brazilian church here that you and your wife now go to? Have you been able to continue your faith here and go and visit somewhere regularly?
Yeah, but like I said to my wife, we're, how do you say, 1 week in an English church and the other on
Alternating weeks.
alternating weeks. So one at an English church for me and the other in Brazilian church for her.
Were the people at church surprised when you walked in? Did anyone recognize you?
First, they didn't recognize me, and I was like, okay, I'm good here. But second time I was there, oh, here's the football player. Oh, no. But I prefer to go now to an English church because I've been on Brazilian church for 12 years. So
I know what you mean, because I also read about you, and you said that you're someone that likes to try and achieve something new every year to continue expanding your mind and your skill set. What's on your list this year?
To be honest, this year I just want to score my first goal in Premier League. But with my little boy coming, I'm just want to be a very good father and increase my drum skills.
I have a drum set going spare if you want to buy one off me.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about that off camera. So you mentioned faith. You mentioned you've got a little boy coming very soon. Drums. I think I'm allowed to say you're not the typical footballer. You said you didn't start really all these hobbies till 25. What made you suddenly go, I want to have more in my life than just football?
Like I said, I try to see positive things on negative things, and I was been through a very bad moment in Palmeiras with a lot of pressure and all of this, and I was like, no, I have to live a normal life. I have to do something. I will not be struggling with just football. I'm living a bad moment and I have to find something to do. And then I started to wakeboarding, and it was very fun. Then skateboarding, books, drums, all came like almost all together and helps me a lot.
Yeah, you said you were having a tough time in football. How much did having hobbies then outside of football, I guess, revitalize your career?
How can I answer like 100%?
100%.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. A lot of people would probably say that having too many hobbies is a negative. What then would you say back to those people?
You're wrong. Okay. Yeah, you're wrong. But I think, of course, I know that I'm not able to be the best drummer, the best skater, the best father. I have to choose the main things. So now the main thing is to be a very good father. And I know I cannot do everything. We only have 24 hours a day. But I think it's good to have a lot of hobbies, because sometimes you are in a place with when I cannot skate, but I can solve a Rubik's Cube. So you're always doing something.
Have any of the other guys here in the team been surprised of all your hobbies and maybe more excited to learn from you and kind of look at you as a role model?
I don't know if they look at me as a role model, but I get very excited when someone wants to learn the Rubik's Cube. And here was easier than Brazil, because in Brazil, I have to insist. Like, even with Danilo, I have to insist with him and with other guys to learn. And they are like, no, I'm never going to be able to. And I was easy. Let's, like, one day at a time. And once they solve, and I was like, they were like, oh, thank you so much, Scarpa. I never thought I would be able to achieve this. And here, the guys, when they saw me solving the Rubik's Cube, they just got very interested about it and trying to solve. And then I tried to teach, and I think 5 or 6 guys already learning. So
go on, who can do it now? Who can do the Rubik's Cube?
Yatesy, Scott, McKenna, Morgan, Lewis, Megan, the physio.
So you do need to have a Rubik's Cube challenge. I called you the champion of the club. You need to have, I guess, a little bit of a challenge of who can do it the fastest.
A tournament. I tried to do this in Brazil, but they didn't accept it.
Well, let's get the guys on the next Forest Content Day
to
do a tournament. How did you learn it? Because I've been also trying to learn. We'll have a conversation about this. I can do the bottom, guys, and I can do the
you're
T.
Almost there.
I know,
halfway.
I know, but I can't get any further, so I brought it along. And I wanted to prove that I didn't just do it like that. I had to obviously get it. But how did you teach yourself? Because I've been looking on YouTube, and it's so difficult.
First day, my friend tried to teach me, and then next day I was on YouTube and learned it. But it's very easy.
What's your record now for completion?
My best of the best was 27 seconds.
27 seconds. Right, so I've obviously done that. Do you want to just finish it off? Should we see how quick it is?
No, but let me... I will solve, but I will teach you at the same.
Fine.
Your next step.
Okay.
So remember the cross?
So I remembered it was the petals. It was I started with the yellow and then the white petals around. That's how I started.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then did white face.
How do you call this? You said about the white...
Petals, yeah.
Petals?
Petals. I pretended it was a flower.
Petals. Okay. okay, flower. Remember the flower?
Yeah.
Now you're going to search for something that has no yellow.
Yeah, I knew that, but I can't quite do that. So no yellow on them.
No yellow, like this.
On the top layer, guys.
On the top layer. Like this is yellow and blue. Yep. So you cannot use this one. This yellow and orange cannot use. This is red and blue.
So I can use that.
You can use that. So red and blue. Just bring this. Easy. It's just practicing now. Like in the beginning, it's very hard, but you saw the formula and it's easy. Let me see.
No words. I'll just sit and watch. Almost. One more, right?
Wait. I'm not
I got this
liar.
I got this, yeah.
But this is turn.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because this is impossible. Like.
Oh, maybe that's why I can't do it then. I've got a fault. I literally bought this about 5 days ago.
Yes, now it's okay.
Oh, I bought this like faulty product. No wonder I couldn't do it.
Yes.
So I had a faulty cube. That's ridiculous. Sorry, I actually had no idea about that. But what I've learned since trying to do that, obviously I was never going to perfect that because I had a faulty Rubik's Cube, that it, again, takes your mind of other things. There's not many hobbies, and actually you've chosen a lot of hobbies which do this, which you're not on your phone, or, you've focused fully on what you're doing.
Exactly.
Is that why you picked them?
Yeah, in the beginning it was like less time on the cell phone and more time doing any other thing, like reading, skating, solving a Rubik's Cube, or and it's very hard because our cell phone is so more comfortable because it's hard to learn a new thing. You have to do your best, but I prefer this.
You're such in my head a contrasting, almost contradicting character, because you read and you do a Rubik's Cube and you learn languages and musical instruments, yet you also have a super successful YouTube channel,
Yeah.
which 239,000 followers at the last count, which I checked. Why was that important to you to build that?
I decided to do my YouTube channel to show the to show everybody in Brazil that first they don't own me, you know. Of course, I'm a footballer. It's my profession. It's my profession.
It's your job. Yeah, that's cool
Yeah,
to
it's
say,
my
right?
job.
He's a footballer.
It's my profession, but I can live a normal life. Of course, I've already I record 2 or 3 videos, leave. I keep them safe. Then after we won the second Libertadores, next day I start my channel. I was a very clever guy, of course. But yeah, it's just to show everybody that I can do whatever I want. Of course, football is my profession. I'm telling you guys the same thing, but doesn't matter, right?
It seemed like it was a bit of something for you to interview people that inspire you as well. You've interviewed skateboarders, Olympians, and I was really interested into, was that why you also started it? To be able to do your own thing and maybe have a career outside of football when it ends?
I started to think about after in my career being a YouTuber, but the people who helped me with my channel, they give me a lot of ideas. Unfortunately for them, I don't accept a lot of their ideas. They have great ideas, but it's just something that will be very good, a lot of views and a lot of likes, but it's not what I want. So I prefer not to do. But I have an interview with Hugo Calderano. He's a
Table tennis.
Table tennis, yeah. And he's like 20.
I've actually seen that one. I don't know why I didn't remember.
He's 25, 26 years old. He's the 4th in the world, and he speaks 7 languages, I think. So it's very crazy. And I was like, oh no, I have to talk with him. I have to do an interview with him. But yeah, after I end my career, subscribe on my channel. And
I mean, Yatesy's been on it already.
Yeah.
Who else from the Forest lot would you like to do a collab with on YouTube? That's what they say, isn't it?
Renan already shows in my channel also. I think the next one will be Navas. Mm-hmm. I start to teach him on our way to London. We went there with a train. At the hotel after dinner, he learned it. 5-6 hours later, he already learned it. And then he gave me an idea that I won't tell you because it will be a surprise. But I've told Morgan, Scott, hey, let's record for my channel. And they were like, okay, let's go. But never happened. Hope one day.
There was something else I wanted to speak to you about as well. Was your love of reading?
Yeah.
I've heard that philosophy is big on your kind of list of things to read. If you could, I guess, suggest a reading list of some of the things that maybe some of the Forest players should read in their lifetime, have you got anything that they should kind of head towards?
I mean, I read a lot of different kind of books, you know. I do have my 5
favorites.
5 favorites. Like the Bible is the first one because it's so, how do you say when something seems to be old, but it's very
relevant.
It seems we write like yesterday. It's new. Yeah. You know, it's old, but it's new. But there's a Victor Hugo, Les Miserables.
Les Miserables.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The theatre at London's great. If you want to go and watch it.
I went there with my wife.
Did you like it?
Yeah, very, very fun. There's another book, George Orwell.
George Orwell, yeah.
The farm something.
Animal Farm,
yeah, very good. Dostoevsky, Karamazov, something. Brothers Karamazov.
Are you reading anything at the moment?
I'm reading, if I translate, it's Admirable New World.
Admirable New World.
But I don't know if... Huh?
Oh, I've read The Brave New World. Brave New World. I'll let you finish the book.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Blew my mind. But, okay, so, yeah, I mean, yeah, is this a culture that you feel football and footballers would benefit from? The kind of atypical footballer that you are?
Yeah, I mean, I think we underrated ourselves sometimes. I always tell Danilo this with the Rubik's Cube. And I know that all the guys, they are very able to do and to learn a lot of hobbies, a lot of new things. It's just like I told you, sometimes it's more comfortable to stay on your phone and doing the same things. But if you push up yourself a little bit, you can learn great things, you know.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to sit and chat to you. We have one more thing to do before you go. So we're going to have a leaderboard running with all the players and personalities that come on the podcast. And we're going to ask you some pretty difficult questions on a topic all about yourself. So hopefully you'll know the answers because the questions are all about you. Okay. First question. Are you ready? How many people do you follow on Instagram?
0.
0. I mean, what a selfish person not to follow anyone back. Okay, 1 point. What date did you sign for Nottingham Forest?
July 10, I think, 2022.
The official date on the club?
The official. For me, it was already official. 10 of July. If someone told me, oh, this is not official, no, I don't care, I signed.
That's a contentious one because it was the 4th of December 2022. We'll maybe give you a half point there. Okay. How many appearances did you make for Palmeiras?
233.
211.
Yeah?
Yeah. 211. Okay. 211. How many minutes did you play against Leicester City?
I think 60.
Close, 55. I'm not going to give you that, though. And finally, how many coloured squares does a regular Rubik's Cube have?
If I do like 9
times
6,
yep.
I have 54.
Yay! Yes!
But it's not 54.
Yes, it is. That again is, what do you think it is then? There's no more colours under there. You pick them apart.
No.
Coloured squares.
This is 1. But white, orange, and green. 1, right? 1, 2, 3.
No, it's... There's 54. You were right. Take 54, that point.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got there. You got the Rubik's Cube one. You didn't get Leicester. You didn't get Palmeiras. You did get your Instagram followers because you follow 0 people and we're giving you half points. So we're giving you 2.5 points. Is that correct, guys? We have a bonus question for you. So I have something to play you in your ears and you have to guess which Nottingham Forest player says this.
£14 8-ounce mirror carp.
Joe Warren.
Wow! How did you know that?
Well, Joe, blah, 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 blah.
Do you know what you said?
No, I just heard his
Should we hear it one more time?
£14 8-ounce mirror carp.
14 pounds. Play again, please.
£14 8-ounce mirror carp.
8 ounce mirror carp.
14 pounds 8 ounce mirror carp. Do you know what that means?
14 pounds?
8 ounces of a mirror carp.
No, I have no idea.
So he's a fisherman. That's a fish he's caught. This is PB of a fish he caught.
Ah.
Ask Joe Worrell to take you fishing.
Very exciting.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
And as well, remember, guys, at home, if you want to find all our on and off the pitch, official Nottingham Forest podcast. Just subscribe where you get all your favourite podcasts from. And we want you to do the YouTube one because you're a YouTuber. Can you tell them how to subscribe and follow the channel?
Yeah, subscribe my channel, Scarpinha's channel, please. Okay? Oh, and on and off the pitch also, okay? But first, Scarpinha's channel.
Where'd you click? Up here somewhere.
Somewhere around here.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure, thank you.